Hello, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Candid Talk. Definitely, this is Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. And of course, I'm more than glad to just bring you up to date with comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place within this country and across our borders. This fine morning, I'm here with Professor Herman Manyora. How are you, sir?
Good.
Right from Luambe, you're back,
Yes, I'm back.
Into the city.
Correct.
They say you went to attend the Madaraka celebrations,
of course we have to.
which were held at your backyard.
We have to. Yeah, as a sign of respect to the president.
As a sign of respect to
You
the
cannot
president.
come to our village and we don't turn up.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the ground saying? The ground is saying that perhaps maybe you have some connections. You are invited over there.
No, I'm just a Kenyan.
Are you part of the government?
I'm not. How you
You're
know
not.
me? How can I be part of government wearing these shoes that are not? They are neither made from snake nor crocodile. They're just made from some plastic somewhere.
Okay.
They are not even a cow hide. When you are in government, you put on cedar stuff.
So to say.
Where is the watch I have?
Okay, so you don't even have a
I
watch.
must be having a watch of $50,000 at the very least. Yeah, if I was in government, I'm not.
The deputy president is...
Designer glasses, everything. You can see, I don't have them.
I almost said the deputy president, but here we are. Of course, the term deputy president has been so much on our lips these days with the Rigathi Gachagua trending all over. But then here I am talking about the president. Somebody is saying that he's finally won the hearts of Muleme Nation and is there. And actually that was evident during the Madaraka celebrations. I hear the governor of Bungoma County had proposed that one of the roads there be named after the President William Ruto herein. But there is also a lot taking place in this particular part of the country. We've got the Tawe movement still strong there. Make me believe this. Do you believe that President William Ruto has completely garnered the support of your people from the Muleme Nation?
The Muleme Nation, the Luya people are Kenyans.
Okay.
William Samoei Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya. Like other Kenyans, we must love our president.
Okay.
Why would we not join other Kenyans in loving our president? We love our president as Luyas. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course we do.
Okay.
And we need to support him, and indeed we support the president because he's there for 5 years. Whether you voted for him or not, the fact that he's the president, you need to support him for the next 5 years, for your own good. Unless you have the power to remove him,
Okay.
which is another good thing if you can. Yeah.
Let's get into politics. The last time when you compare, of course, it's only this very Bungoma County, maybe because of Wetangula or so, who actually delivered some considerable number of votes to the president. The other remaining regions or other counties voted heavily for Raila Odinga. Has that changed?
You see, you cannot know until there is an election or people are being put in a state where you can gauge what they are thinking. So far, people are not thinking about who to vote for. Yeah, that will become clear when an election is around the corner. Yeah. Or when the people begin talking about it. So far, people are just there doing their thing, planting maize, you know, harvesting beans now as I was, but the beans are not doing well because of the heavy rains. People are just there, yeah, supporting the government of the day. Yeah.
What's
and crying here and there.
Okay. What's your honest opinion about the feeling of the people from Central Kenya on William Ruto right now?
The people of Central Kenya?
Yes.
I thought we were in Western.
No.
Why
Just
have
answer
you
that
jumped?
question.
Why
Let
have you
me just
jumped?
take you there. What's your honest
You
opinion?
see, the people of, you ask about my people in Western. I say there's nothing for us to look at. The people of Mount Kenya have been put in a state where they are now talking. You see? They are talking about unity. They are talking about being shortchanged by government. They are talking about economic hardships. And they are talking about charting a path. Not necessarily independent of the president, but a path that puts them at the center of things. So in that kind of situation, you can more or less read what they are thinking.
Okay.
First, they are asking questions, so that if elections were held today, and they were to choose between Ruto and somebody else, even without asking who that person is, the president may not get the votes he got from them. There will be less. Yes. How less will be determined by a number of factors, including who is the present competitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a matter of
So
fact,
it's not like Western
hear-
where we are not there.
Okay, but indeed they are calling for unity.
Yes.
The same unity that is being called for in Western. So
You know-
why do you think there is some sort of a mixed reaction, or rather in terms of feelings? Because you hear telling me about the kind of feeling that is there in the mountain. When you compare it with what is actually taking place in Western, where do you think maybe the difference comes in?
No, you see, I'm telling you, you see, the mountain people are different. The Luya people are different in a way.
Okay.
Now, in a manner of speaking. The Luya are less political at the national level. But you know, Luyas will be, wherever there are small elections, the Luya and the Kisi and the Luo will always be there. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about within the national matrix. The Luyas are less political than the Luo and the Kikuyu, and now the Kalenjin have joined them. So top on the list are the Luo, and then the Kikuyu, and then the Kalenjin, in terms of being very political. So a conversation about politics will be received around the mountain much more different than it will be received in the Western region, or
Okay.
in Mlembe Nation. So we must draw that distinction. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the difference here.
Yes.
Now, make me understand this. Do you think that perhaps the president has actually shifted his attention maybe from depending so much on central Kenya? And because you know, I've had these conversations here with you, and you always tell me when you look at the people from the western part of this country, even in terms of numbers, you people have the numbers and you have the votes. Yes. Do you think he's shifted his attention towards that particular direction?
It could be an attempt, but a poor attempt. It will be counterproductive.
How?
I mean, first of all, the Luya are not united in terms of the sort of unity I'm talking about is the sort of political unity, some sort of madness that other people have, so that if they are facing in a direction, all of them are facing there. So that you go even to tea room, you find rich people there sponsoring people to go and vote. They're just paying their fare. Kikuyus, eh? No Luya can do that. So that kind of unity is not there. So how will he mobilize the community to replace the Kikuyu who, if they support you in a big way? Yeah.
So you're saying here the Kikuyus are
Secondly,
replaceable.
the Luya vote is tricky to the extent that because it's tricky because how sure are you Raila will not run?
Okay.
Because if Raila runs or strongly, visibly, consciously runs and then he supports somebody convincingly, beginning with Raila himself running, then Western will not be so much useful to Ruto. Because Raila will still get about 60-70% of the votes. If he's supporting somebody, that somebody will get about 50-60% or 50% at least. So you cannot replace miserable Luya votes with huge votes, that huge block of votes from Mount Kenya. So that's what I'm saying is a bad gamble. It's actually, and I don't think Ruto is looking in that direction. People are just forcing it on him. I don't think he can. Okay. I don't think Ruto is that naive. Say, to hell with Mount Kenya. In come Western. Western, Ruto knows. He knows Ruto is a sharp guy.
You know, Prof, I've had these conversations with you for a long time, and right now it's like you're trying to believe that we've reached that point where we can say Gachagua is Mount Kenya and Mount Kenya is Gachagua. Somehow, we are almost there.
You see, we are almost there courtesy of the people who are fighting.
Okay. So
if he just did it on his own, it would take much longer. He could get there. Indeed, he will get there.
Okay.
But it will be a long, long, hard struggle. But now they have brought it to him. For him, it's just put on the table for him to die.
Okay. So if that is the case and it goes that way, then Ruto, ostensibly, because when I look at it this way, I'm seeing a situation whereby the leaders from the Mlembe Nation, or rather the western part of Kenya, who are actively in government, we have the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Prime CS, who also doubles as our Cabinet Secretary in charge of foreign affairs in this country. They are actually on good terms with the president. vis-a-vis when you compare with the deputy president on the other side. So if at all, and of course, the president right now is in some sort of a good working relationship with the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga. Do you think that should things go as they are going right now, and that rift is actually confirmed, with the support of Raila and with the support of Wetangula and Mudavadi, can Ruto then sail successfully and go through?
I have always called it a gamble. It's possible it's a gamble.
Okay.
With Mount Kenya, Ruto is safe. Completely safe. It's just too safe.
Okay.
Actually, with Mount Kenya, Ruto need not bother about 2027. But if you antagonize, and I've been using this word antagonize, Mount Kenya, please, you'll have to struggle to get back to State House. You need to struggle. Because in short and in very simple English, I will have to repeat it in Swahili, but in very simple English, the votes Ruto will lose if he disappoints Mount Kenya cannot be compensated by the votes from Western.
Okay.
Sio kama tunaelewana?
Nakupata.
Ukipoteza kura, wewe ni Ruto, upoteze kura za mlima Kenya. Ati unaenda magharibi mwa Kenya. Zile kura utapata kwa kina Mudavadi, sio hata nusu ya kura umepoteza Mount Kenya. Sasa itakusaidia na nini?
But you're saying you have the numbers. Your people are not complaining.
Which one?
You're saying the Western
the
people
Luyas
do have the votes.
have demographic numbers.
But they
They don't have political numbers. You know, there's a difference between demographic numbers and the political. Some people don't even have the demographic number. They even manufacture political numbers. Nyinyi mko nazo, walio wako na namba hawazitumii, ni watu wengi hawazitumii. Kuna wale wako na zao nyingi wanazitumia kisiasa. Na kuna wale wako nazo hata ni mingi na pia wanatafuta zingine za ukora wanaongeza. Na nyinyi zenyu kwanza hamtumii, ziko tu. So I will not be excited about a Luya vote. The only time the Luyas can almost get excited is if Mudavadi was a presidential candidate at a timing that is proper. Which to me, and it's my very honest assessment, anything beyond 2027, Mudavadi cannot be a presidential candidate. Okay. It's a waste of time.
But
He's lying to himself. Let him not carry the community in that lie. Because the world is changing. The world is changing. My age mates will find it very difficult to play in the game in another 5 years.
Okay.
It's very difficult. You know, people of my age, even trying to be small things like MP, what, governor, there must be something working in your favor, not just an ordinary election. Unajitokeza mimi mzee wa miaka 70 nataka kupigana na watoto kama hawa kwa kura. Watakuangusha mwereka. So Mudavadi can have a chance because now he's an insider in 2027. If he wants to have a chance at 2032, then he must be Ruto's running mate in 2027. But to be told, ngoja tu, wacha Gachagua akae sababu tutachokoza nyuki, lakini sisi wetu tutakusupport. That's a joke. That is a big joke.
But Gachagua mwenyewe anachokoza already right now. Okay. Now, make me understand this. You see, understanding the politics of this particular region is somehow difficult. Now, we've got this Tawe movement that is actually opposed to the leadership of Mudavadi and Wetangula.
Yes.
I even heard Kaleba Misi say that when he was in Standard 3, Mudavadi was already in the political scene, and up to now there is nothing different that is actually brought on board. I wonder, do you think that this particular movement can effectively cancel the effect of the two from this particular region, such that even if the president decides to go with them, then that would actually not translate into votes?
It depends on how entrained the Tawe movement will be. If it is just a Trans-Nzoia thing, it will fizzle out. But if it moves to Bungoma and then finally to which it has every potential, then it captures the imagination of the Mlembe nation. And then it creates its own leadership. It is possible that leadership can give direction. If that leadership is talked to by Ruto, they can give them the direction, let's go to Ruto. If the leadership tells the people that Mudavadi and Wetangula are leading us to nowhere, let's go in this direction. Again, it will work. It depends. But you see, for now, the Tawe movement is still juvenile. It is still even trying to be qualitative. But it takes time to be quantitative. You see, the problem why it may not go far is it is scaring some people who have the muscle. People like Wetangula and Mudavadi have the muscle. I know they have people like Atwoli with them and the rest of this. They have the muscle, both financial and other political muscle. And they are also the divisions, even among the Pukusu themselves. Wetangula can tell the Pukusu of Bungoma, Imambo ya Trans Nzoia mwachane naye, and they listen. So the leader of Tawe movement, what do you call him? Natembea. I think he's also trying to learn a lot of things. He's still learning. He's yet to understand the politics. Because the moment in politics, moments are created or you create them. But what is more important is not those moments, not those opportunities, how you exploit them. Right now, that thing is fizzling. It had gotten to a point, if he had consulted people widely and well, it would be scaring in our Wetangula now. It would be in Viga by now.
Prof, you are the same person whom I had with this conversation here when it began. And you told me that Governor Natembea was already driving, running the Speaker of the National Assembly out of town.
But
here,
he has not.
You
see, you remember, I also know a little English. I know to say somebody running somebody out of town is not the same thing as saying he has run him out of town. But he was running him out of town. He didn't succeed.
Okay.
Even if he had run Wetangula out of the town, Wetangula has come back. I know of kings who, including King David, who were dethroned and they went into the wilderness, but they came back to take their thrones.
Okay.
Yeah, I know of princes, kings, and what have you, emperors, including Napoleon.
So therefore,
you are dethroned, but you come back with another army. So Wetangula has managed to contain the Tawi movement. People may not agree, but he has managed. I'm telling you, there's a moment these things reach. If you don't exploit that moment, it's gone.
So what should...
Wetangula had, what do you call this guy? Natembe had gotten to a place where people are drunk with the Tawe. But he was only scared once in a function by the goons. And I think he retracted.
Do you think he has retracted?
I'm not seeing much progress. By now it should be in Viga. He was supposed to have run over Bungoma. That time, that thing was going natural. It was just flowing. The momentum was there. The wave. He's supposed to have gone to just past Bungoma. Bungoma, he was not even supposed to land. Just to fly past Bungoma and land in Kakamega. And while in Kakamega, some soldiers are already headed to Bungoma, to Vihiga. Others are headed to Busia. Like that. And by now, he'll be... People in Nandi was in Gishu,
do you think
where Luya, Sara, Nakuru, they will be drunk. I was looking at a time when, for example, by when is today? When this is June. By December, Nairobi people, if you went to Kawangware and you talk to anything other than Tawe, they will beat you. But it's not working. So I think to me, it won't go far. No, but Wetangula can sit pretty.
Wetangula can sit pretty?
Yeah, because I think Natembea thought this is something you can do yourself. No. You need resources. You need friends. You need partners. But above all, you need to create a think tank. People who can read the situation. And after you have been attacking, you come back in the evening and you look at what you have done and what needs to be done the following day. The obstacles, how, that kind of thing. It was not a small matter. It's supposed to be approached scientifically. But Natembea thought he can just be popular, say, Tawe. That can go far. And I think it is dead.
Do you believe so?
It may be resuscitated. The patient has a far off pulse. You can feel from, clinically, the patient is not dead. But from the naked eyes, is dead. But clinically, the patient is still alive.
Okay. There are people who believe, including you here, because we've had these conversations over time, that Wetangula's influence politically in Western region is limited to Bungoma County.
Yes.
They say so. And then you see Mudavadi as this sort of prince or
The uncrowned prince.
uncrowned prince who
The
actually
reluctant prince.
reluctant and kind of would just sit pretty then once things actually handed over to him.
And most princes are like that. Uhuru Kenyatta,
And you
Gideon
do
Moi.
say that his grip and influence over Western region, even when you compare to Raila Odinga, who is actually not a native of that particular place, is kind of minimal.
Not even Raila, even in Natembea, even in Wetangula.
Okay.
But Mudavadi has no influence in Western. But he still captures the imagination of the Western people.
Okay.
Because when you are being asked, give us your son, in the manner in which Saul was being asked in the Bible, he didn't bring David because David was a weakling, a small, weak thing. He brought his tough sons. He was told, no, not this one. He brought another one. Then he said they are Omeisha. You remember that story? But the man of God told him, no, there must be another. I said, no, I have some useless one looking after sheep. That one bring David. So when the people of Western Kenya, in their spiritual sense, when they think of them and a leader, that leader who comes to their mind is Mudavadi. So if they will ask, bring one of your sons to take for a presidential contest, it will be Mudavadi automatically. But on the ground, he's not there. Okay. He's a typical prince. Prince Gideon Moi, Prince Uhuru Kenyatta, Prince Mudavadi. These are princes. But they are not really fighters like Raila, like Ruto.
Is Eugene Wamalwa a prince as well?
No, he's in between. He's in between. He doesn't have princely qualities, but he comes from a royal family. His people like him. But you see, Wetangula is different from Mudavadi. Wetangula is only mean. He doesn't understand Kenyan politics. If he was able to make friends in a manner in which Moi made friends, Ruto is making friends, and so on and so forth, he can run down Western Kenya, Western province. He can take over. He's a tough, ambitious politician, if you look at his history. What holds Wetangula back is meanness. He's too mean. He wants everything for himself. In Kenyan politics, you must be able to make ugali and you share with fellow lawyers. Mama anapika ugali, watu wanakuja wanauma ugali, wanaweka ile inakuanga nini ndani ya ugali, wanaweka sema mwami wasa mwami mkubwa, then wanateremsha na chai. Alafu mnapitia mahali mnakunywa chupa moja mbili, wale wanakunywa. That is how leaders in this country make friends. So that is limiting. It limits Wetangula. He's, I think, selfish. And you see, you may not be a spender, but get far. Raila does not need to spend, but he has an organic following. That's why, because Raila is a spirit. And since you are Wetangula, you are not a spirit like Raila. You can't say you'll be like Raila. Kibaki never spent money on anybody. But he was the hope of the Kikuyu nation. So the rich Kikuyus were doing that which Kibaki would have done if he was an ordinary politician, which Kina Moi were, in terms of spending and making friends. But the Kikuyu businessmen were there to do it for him. Dito Uhuru the same. Uhuru is from a rich family, but he does not need to send, he's never spent his money. There are people to drive that Kikuyu agenda. So people, but Wetangula, if he chose to take over Luya leadership, that is a joke to Wetangula. He will run over Western province just like a joke.
So why is he you're saying
he's mean.
That is why.
He's a selfish and mean fellow.
Okay. So
and I'm not saying people have to give people money. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, a chief, when you become a chief, and I come from those families I know, when you become a chief, you must immediately go to the market and buy bigger sufurias. Kama ulikuwa na sufuria size, unaenda kununua sasa kubwa ya kutengeneza chai. Because asubuhi watu wanagonga mlango kwa chief. Hodi chief, bringing reports. Others just coming to bring vitina, but they must take tea. Because you are the chief.
Okay.
Ku maintain ufalme. Ku maintain
ufalme, so you say.
There was another one called Mwangale, Elijah Wasike Mwangale. So Ubuami Kimiando. Leadership is Mali, property, wealth. So power creates wealth. Throughout history, you can see it. Huh? But in order for you to get there, you must also use the resources. That's why even in America, there's a fundraising campaign. Because they are not pretending that an election is expensive. You get it?
Yes.
So today I was calculating with some people in the village this weekend when I was at home. Even to run as an MCA, the amount of money you need is crazy. When my cousin ran for the first, was it first MCA or it was last council, I think one of the two. My friend, I sat down and said, this is not possible. Even just to keep agents on the voting day alone is money. So if you want to popularize yourself in Western Province, you need to create friends from Bungoma all the way to Busia and Vihiga. And that calls for resources.
So you say he should learn to eat with his people?
Yeah, eat with your people. But he's not capable of doing that. So so unfortunately for him, it is much easier for Wetangu to Natembea to remove them from power. Because they don't know how to keep their turf.
Actually, Western region is one of the areas where people are actually keeping eyes on. But here, when you look at it in this perspective, of course, we now have the Tawe movement led by the DAP. Of course, Natembea is a DAP governor. But there's led by Eugene Wamalwa. We have the other politicians here in ODM has got a big following here with the former Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. We have got the Nairobi Senator, people who are not actually so much of buddies with the president, so to say. So with amid all this kind of division that we are witnessing here, how then do you think it will be possible for maybe somebody to come up and galvanize the entire Western Kenya region, such that in case anything goes wrong for the president and he loses the central Kenya, as we are witnessing right now, things are taking place here in, should Gachagua actually succeed to unite his people, then perhaps make Western Kenya a better alternative and a safe haven for Ruto?
It will it's difficult. To unite the Luyas so that you take them to Ruto may not be a very easy thing. No, it's not very easy. It's a big challenge.
But right now, you've just
But if
confirmed.
Raila is part of the game, is in the matrix, quid pro quo, how do you pronounce it? I can't remember. Quid pro, whatever. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. If Raila supports Ruto, honestly, faithfully, sincerely, wholeheartedly, and he joins hands with Mudavadi, yes, that is possible. It is possible with Mudavadi and Wetangula and the rest of those people on board. Ruto can get a good chunk of Western.
Okay.
Yes.
So he keeps.
But then the only challenge may be, would Ruto's competitor, in the maybe Kalonzo, appear to be a formidable one? If he appears to be formidable, and certainly one of the permutation is that he will have a Luya running mate, and he picks the right running mate, there will be a split in the votes.
Okay.
But they will get handsome. But like I want to repeat, you cannot get enough votes from Western, whatever happens, to replace the Kikuyu votes, which you lose if you are Ruto, by playing around with the mountain.
Okay.
So if you are like a child playing around with things, in some of them even dangerous, you can go ahead. I have said, this narrative, this talk that Ruto got votes of Mount Kenya without Gachagua, they should not entertain it, because it is not true. It's not true. Secondly, it can be put to test. If Ruto is convinced that Gachagua did not have a hand in his getting Mount Kenya votes, or even if he had a hand, there are other people who can replace Gachagua. Let him put it to the test in 2027.
Okay.
He will realize it was a big gamble. It's not true. It is absolutely not true. And I think Many people didn't think Gachagua deserved to be running mate, but Ruto could have calculated how much influence would Kidhik, what do you call
Kithure
it?
Kindiki.
Kithure Kindiki. How much influence would he have around the mountain? The Merus will be excited for the first time they're getting closer to power. But how much influence would that have in Mount Kenya? In Mount Kenya West, Kikuyu counties. How much influence? On the contrary,
Is he a Meru?
Raila would have had, yeah, he's Meru, he's Daraka, Meru, yeah. Daraka and Meru are the same, they're cousins, if not brothers. So the Meru people would have been, although the Meru in Menti have a low opinion of the Darakas, which is normal, stereotyping others and whatnot, but the Meru would have been excited. But that would have meant you leave Kikuyu country open to attack by Martha Karua and Raila Odinga. So that the 1 million Raila got would have been 2 million votes. So I do not think it is true, whichever way you look at this issue, that Ruto got the votes of the mountain without Gachagua. Because I'm telling you, the Gachagua's main competitor, only competitor actually, was none other than Kithure Kindiki. Close your eyes and see Kithure Kindiki as a running mate. And look at the field day Uhuru, Raila and Mother will have in Mount Kenya West, Kikuyu counties. Raila would have run over that,
But Gachagua
that area.
would still be part of that campaign team. He would still...
No, he will be a bitter man. In fact, it will just be token support. He will not have. So what I'm saying is not true.
It's not true.
That you can do without Mount Kenya. Just as it is not true that Ruto got the votes without Gachagua in Mount Kenya. It's not true.
So you're saying that with the kind of fractures that we're witnessing in central, in the western Kenya region, still the president cannot actually depend on that
No,
as
even
an
if they are
alternative.
united.
As an
Because
alternative.
the Luya are not a political bloc.
Okay.
They have demographic votes, they have the numbers, they don't use those numbers. So you cannot depend on them and sacrifice the Mount Kenya people who know how to use the votes. They know what power is. We in Luya land don't know what power is. The Kalenjin know what power is. The Kikuyu know what power is. We don't know. Even Luos don't know what power is.
Right now, the Kikuyus whom you're talking about are jittery. Your people from Western are sitting pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
things are somehow
they will not help you. Luyas cannot, you cannot rely on Luyas. You cannot divorce the Kikuyu and bring to the house a Luya voter. This way he'll be eating ugali when others are voting.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it here from Professor Herman Manyora here. Kindly weigh in on this conversation and tell us whether you think that maybe the Western bloc would be a better alternative should things go crazy as we are actually witnessing right now. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment. Tune in to some of our conversations that will be coming up next. And please, if at all you are watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe to this channel and be able to support us as well. Our details are down there. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.